All right, let me tell you a story. It's about this college student. His name is Johnny. And with just 48 hours left until graduation, he has one very pressing mission. He's going to test all the most scientifically backed theories about what women find attractive. And let's just say, it does not start well.
And I don't mean that metaphorically. Nope, she literally physically dry heaved right there outside the campus library. This, my friends, is the story of Johnny's truly desperate quest. So yeah, Johnny's got a 48-hour clock ticking down. He feels like he's tried everything, so now he is turning to his one last hope, science. He is absolutely convinced that he can use these scientifically proven attraction hacks to finally connect with someone before he's thrown out into the real world.
And here we go. This is our countdown. As you can see, Johnny is going to be busy. His grand plan is to systematically test every single theory he can get his hands on, and we're going to follow him every step of the way, right down to that very last hour. The clock is officially ticking.
Okay, first up, let's break down his series of catastrophic failures. You can think of this next part as a masterclass in what not to do, based on some really painful, very public misreadings of actual science.
So Johnny dredges up this memory from a freshman year lecture about the 1995 sweaty t-shirt study. You might have heard of it. The study found that women often prefer the scent of men who have different immune system genes, or MHC. Why? Because it signals a good genetic match for healthy kids. So what does our guy Johnny do? He literally grabs a dirty, unwashed hoodie from a communal hamper and just goes for a walk.
And yep, that was the result. Now, here's the thing. The science isn't totally wrong. Scent does play a huge role in attraction, and some studies even show preferences are stronger around ovulation. But, and this is a big but, that does not mean smelling unhygienic. This was his first and probably his most pungent mistake. So here's the real takeaway on this. Scent is this incredibly powerful communication tool. You know, women often have more sensitive olfactory systems, and a scent can signal everything from good health to whether someone is safe to be around. Johnny's first attempt screamed poor hygiene. His second attempt, where he basically bathed in cologne, just reeked of pure desperation. Both were massive red flags.
All right, so the scent fiasco is officially behind him. We're now T-minus 23 hours. His new logic? Well, if scent is all about signaling health, maybe he should just get buff, right? So off to the gym he goes.
As you might guess, he immediately overdoes it on the treadmill and just about passes out. A really kind trainer rushes over to help him, and what does he do? He tries to impress her by dropping what he thinks is some kind of alpha joke about his bench press. It did not land. He thought he was coming off as dominant and funny. She just thought he was incredibly cringy.
But hey, he's not deterred. Johnny pivots again. Girls love a guy with a sense of humor, right? The science totally supports it. So when a group of sorority girls invites him and his buddies to a party, he sees his shot. This is it, the perfect chance to win them all over with a killer joke, right there in the cafeteria. What could go wrong?
And it backfires. Spectacularly. He goes for a joke that's just a little too edgy, a little too unfiltered, and that party invitation is rescinded on the spot. He just completely, utterly misread the room.
You see, this is where he really went wrong. Genuine shared laughter? It's like a superpower. It floods your brain with all these feel-good chemicals like dopamine and endorphins, boosting bonding hormones like oxytocin. It literally signals intelligence and emotional safety. Johnny's big mistake was confusing being funny with being unfiltered, a classic rookie error that just blew up the very connection he was trying to build.
Okay, so his joke's bombed. He tries a new angle. Altruism. Kindness. I mean, science says it's a super desirable trait, right? It signals trustworthiness, maturity, boosts oxytocin, makes people feel safe. So his plan? He's going to bake brownies as a peace offering for the sorority party he was just uninvited from. No jokes, no flirting, just pure, unadulterated good vibes.
And for a hot second, it actually works. He's there, he's helping out, he's being genuinely useful. And then he opens his mouth. We don't know exactly what he said, but whatever it was enough to get him permanently banned. Even his attempted pure, simple kindness was sabotaged by his inability to just be normal.
Okay, stop. Let's just pause for a second. Let's talk directly to Johnny, and honestly, to everyone watching. The whole story so far has just been one failure after another. but we are getting to the absolute most important part of this entire explainer right now.
This is the key question, isn't it? The science behind scent and humor and kindness, it's all real. So why isn't any of it working for him? Well, the answer isn't that the science is wrong. The problem is that Johnny is trying to speedrun human connection, and you can't do that.
And this right here is the critical distinction we have to make. On the one hand, yeah, Johnny's annoying. He tries way too hard, his jokes are cringeworthy, he's socially awkward, he panics. But look at the other side. He's a good guy. He respects boundaries. He takes no for an answer. He doesn't get manipulative or nasty when he's rejected. He understands consent. He isn't predatory, he's just annoying. And you know what? Annoying is fixable.
So after all that trial and error, mostly error, what does genuine attraction actually look like? Well, it turns out Johnny is about to stumble upon it completely by accident, for the simple reason that he finally gives up on all the hacks.
It all boils down to this: emotional intelligence. And it's not about always saying the perfect thing. It's about how you handle things when they go wrong. Think about it. After 2 straight days of constant rejection, Johnny isn't lashing out, he's not blaming women, he's looking inward. He's starting to realize he's the common denominator in all these failures. And you can see his shift right here. First, the realization. He was the one at fault. Then he takes action. He actually contacts the women he bothered and gives them a genuine, no-strings-attached apology. And the outcome? He owns his mistakes. That act, right there, taking accountability, handling his disappointment without getting hostile, that is more attractive than any hack he tried all weekend.
So this brings us to the climax of our story. We are in the final hour before graduation. Johnny has completely given up. He's not trying to impress anyone anymore. He's just sitting in his dorm room, marinating in his failure.
And then there's a knock at the door. It's Millie. She's his study buddy, someone who's had this quiet crush on for years but never tried any of his tricks on. She heard about his terrible day and she felt bad, so she brought him a little gift. The one person he wasn't trying to hack is the one who shows up.
For the first time in 48 hours, Johnny is at a total loss for words. He's speechless. And because he's not trying to execute some scientific formula for attraction, a genuine, quiet, unscripted moment of connection actually happens between them. He can't ruin it, because for once, he's not trying to control it.
And that really leaves us with this final question. Johnny spent 2 days trying to crack the code, trying to find the secrets to attraction, only to find a real connection the moment he finally stopped trying. So maybe all the science isn't about a checklist of tricks at all. Maybe it's just about building the kind of emotional maturity that allows a genuine connection to happen all on its own. What do you think?